I said I'd finish by 10 past, so I'm going to do it. So, okay. So this righteousness comes from Jesus. Hear this out. This righteousness comes from Christ. Nothing you can do can bring that on. Just believing in Jesus Christ and stepping into that relationship, you become right before God. There really isn't anything else. I can't spice that up. That is the most unbelievable truth in all of the ages. It is the mystery of the gospel that we are now righteous because of Christ. Unbelievable. We are free and right before God. Revelations 21 verse 23 says, "The city does not need the sun or the moon to shine on it, for the glory of God gives it light, and the Lamb is its lamp." Luke 15, there's an amazing story, and we'll finish and pray. We'll get the worship team to head up. Basically, Luke 15 is the story of our Father towards us. It's about the prodigal son. And this is what Romans 3 is all about. That without God, we are broken people. The prodigal son took his father's wealth and went out into the world and spent it and spoiled it, spent it on prostitutes and all number of things, just spent it on friends and parties and everything else, found himself in a pigsty eating the food of the pigs, the lowest of low. And you got to understand that the Jews, when they were reading that was just like unthinkable. You couldn't even eat bacon, let alone eat the food of the bacon. And so to say that to a Jew, for Jesus to stand there and say, this is the point of where this son went, so broken. He's thinking, it's better to be a bond slave in my father's house. At least they get fed a meal. He comes running back towards his father. And the father is not resistant. The father is a picture of God. God wasn't resistant. His back wasn't turned and going, oh, okay, yeah, we'll see. You be a bond slave for a while. You'll kind of work through the ranks, and we'll just see if you really understand the lesson. Listen what it says. But while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and was filled with compassion for him. He ran to his son, threw his arms around him and kissed him. The son said to him, "Father, I've sinned against you and heaven." He repents. "I'm no longer worthy to be called your son." The father doesn't even respond to his repentance. He doesn't even address, yep, have you learned your lesson? Grace beyond what you can even imagine. But the father said to his servants, "Quick, bring the best robe and put it on him. Put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. Bring the fattened calf and kill it. Let's have a feast and celebrate. For this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found." I don't know where you're at tonight with God. I don't know what kind of state your relationship is, but what I do know is there's people that are living in religion and there's people that are living in the world, and either of them are not going to save you. The world cannot save you with all of its fame and money and comfort, and religion cannot save you with its fake, horrible, evil trappings that cause you to try and prove your worthiness to God. Either way, you still die without God. But tonight, the son could have stayed in that pig pen. He could have stayed and said, I've blown it. I've lost it. I've missed it. But he said, you know what? I'm going to head back to the Father's house. And even if I can be a slave there, I don't care. I'm just going back there. I'm sorry. He humbled himself. I mean, unbelievable. And the Father took out the best robe, put on a feast, put on a party, and celebrated his son coming home. What I love is that the son spent most of the Father's inheritance, which speaks of creation, and yet God had an abundance to pour out still. See, we may waste our money and creation and all this around us. We may mess up, but you come back to God, there's still more. He's the God of abundance. It's just grace and love and relationship. He is just super generous, beyond compare.